Good.
Hello, GDQ viewers. My screen name is Covert Muffin, and for some reason, they're letting me back on stage. I don't know why. That's okay, I'm here. All right. But yeah, so this is amazing. This is the third time Hyperlight Drifter has been into a GDQ, and we're going to be showing off a great speedrun. I'm Covert Muffin, and this is MunchaKoopas, who is the person who originally ran it at GDQ way back when. And this is my good friend Obidobi, who is part of the Hyperlight Drifter community, and this is how I met him.
Yeah.
Cool. But that being said, we're just going to get set up here. So today I'm going to be playing the normal drifter, which is probably one of the harder runs overall, just based on the weapon set that you have. In New Game Plus, you have like only 2 health, but you start off with all the upgrades. And there's a alt drifter, and the alt drifter is a lot of fun because it moves faster and it has a really cool attack. But with the normal drifter, we have this like small sword, and it's going to be a lot of fun because there's going to be a lot of extra content with the tutorial. But if you're ready on time, we are good to go. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, and so you didn't see it, but there was the first skip where I just literally typed /skip into the keyboard, and that was, yeah, very difficult. But that actually just ends up skipping the first overall cutscene. But as you can see here, I am controlling the drifter, and the drifter has a slow dash, and it's actually faster to slow dash everywhere than to just walk around, even though there is slow in the name. But I can only dash in groupings of 3, unless I end up dashing into a ledge, as you saw me do there with the first or second dash. And that'll actually end up reverting the dash back to the 1 count. So if I continuously dash into ledges at certain parts, this allows me to keep the chain going for longer. But now I have the pistol, and the pistol shoots a projectile. So here I'm going to set up for a tough. Nice, okay, that's actually really, really good. And so with the pistol, we can actually end up firing it right before the sword slash, and that allows us to quintessentially like double our damage. And this is something that is known as plinking, and we're gonna be using it all over the place. But that being said, the weird thing about plinking in general is we fire the gun first and then we sword slash. If I try and sword slash and shoot the gun immediately after, you actually can't because you're action locked into the sword animation. But upcoming here is going to be one of the first skips, which is known as a cough cutscene skip. I'm just literally dashing around the cough cutscene because, you know what, the GDQ viewers and everybody here are very breathtaking.
No, Muffin.
No, Muffin.
You're breathtaking.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
You. So in No Major Glitches, which is the category I'm running today, there are a few things that are not allowed. And this is in order to create a category that is not biased to input method. Because in the glitched out of bounds categories, if you're running keyboard and mouse only, you lose something like 3 to 5 minutes over controller runners. Because you literally just cannot bind one key on keyboard. But on controller, you can. And so that is a form of going out of bounds. But in this one, we're not allowed to do out of bounds movement and to do a few of the other major glitches that I'm not going to go into detail because it would get really confusing because this game's weird.
Yeah.
But here I just picked up the map and it's going to explain the overall objective. We need 4 of these purple Dorito triangles as tasty snacks, and this is enough to tantalize the final boss into allowing us to be able to get access to the area. But there I just ended up activating a waypoint, which is going to refill my health and ammo, as well as act as a save point and a fast travel location for us to go later on. There's actually a really funny category where you end up skipping collecting the map. And so if you skip collecting the map, it actually ends up soft locking the game if you try and activate a waypoint. But here's a really tight skip. Ooh, good RNG. Okay, I got hit. All right, okay, well, I didn't even get to do the skip because they both just Goku'd off the edge, but that's okay. Okay. So up here, boom, I just dashed into that ledge there so I could actually extend my dash chain. And here's going to be a first super important bit of currency known as a bit, which is that tiny little golden square. And yes, okay, good. That looks like I got nothing there, but that was a really precise set of dashes that ended up allowing me to skip another cough cutscene. Cool. Okay, so movement in this game really comes down to a couple of things. The first one is, in some screens like there, I'm going to be dashing on the first frame that I get control of the drifter. This is going to allow me to guarantee descend from ledges a little bit quicker, which is actually a very subtle thing that you'll notice higher skill cap players end up doing, especially in the no major glitches category. And then beyond that, we are going to be getting something known as chain dash a little bit later on. But here's another really weird trick where I'm going to hold down, and if I dash on the first or second frame that I have control of the drifter, okay, I missed it, yeah. So if I had done that correctly, I would have done a chain of 3 dashes there, and that actually ends up saving about, I want to say like 2 seconds or so, because it's going to allow me to set up for a dash reset up here, but I missed it, so we're going to just slow down a little bit and wait at that ledge. That's okay. Whoops. Okay, so, okay.
Oh, no. Ground is hard.
Yeah. So something that's really weird in how dash works is you can think of a dash as lasting for a second as we collect our first purple Dorito here, which is known as a module. And so the first half of a second of a dash, you are going in a straight line and you are absolutely 100% action locked into that animation. I'm actually going to focus because I have 1 health and there's a bit of RNG here that can end up killing me. Oh, no. I knew this was going to happen. Okay, so that was the worst possible RNG, and that is extremely rare for that to happen. So I would like to say that's never happened before, but it has. I have lost run to that. So I'm going to try one more time to do fast movement here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's like a bad RNG.
My heart.
Yep. Okay.
Dog was trying to pet you.
Yeah, the dog. He was. So I don't want to heal right now because that ends up losing me about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds overall. And so everything right now is going to be a one-hit kill. So here I'm just going to kind of walk in a circle. Okay, so I have to just be very careful. Be very careful here. So here we're collecting this key, even though it's a little bit out of the way, and this is actually going to save about 1 minute for the run overall because we can't go out of bounds. Okay. All right, cool.
Oh, nice.
One more. Great. Okay. Boom. So you notice that barricade went down after I finished killing off a list of enemies, and that is known as an arena. And so we are going to get into arenas, but basically you can think of them as killing off a list of enemies. All right, so here it does not lose me a ton of time to heal, so I will end up healing there. Okay. So here's a really scary bit. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no problem.
Nice.
Okay, so here I'm gonna walk for a split second because if I don't do that, I end up soft locking the game. However, you'll notice that I ended up like teleporting up to that guy, and that was woo because I wanted to move into this arena, but I'm gonna let Obidobi kind of explain some other subtle aspects of arenas here.
Yeah, so with the arenas, there's kind of like preset spawns for all of the enemies here. So Muffin is moving to the areas that he knows, and right here he's gonna dash up, use 2 pistol shots, just to get up as high as he can to get out of to exit the arena as quickly as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And so with other arenas, if we can't end up like skipping them by dashing around or something, I don't think I got it. No, I didn't. Okay, that's okay. Then we end up having to like sort of choreograph how we are going to get through those arenas. And so, especially in no major glitches where it's going to be pretty frequent that we have to do a lot of arenas because we can't go out of bounds. It's very important for the route to have like really concise timings with exactly how I'm going to be going through every single arena. And so I put a lot of time into optimizing. Okay, so for a little bit of marathon safety, I am gonna grab this health kit. Usually I skip it. But here I'm going to try and damage boost if I can on these rifle shots. I didn't get it, but that's okay. If I do that, that's another way that I can reset my dash chain. I have 2 health, okay. Oh, okay. So here, because I got 4 bits, I end up forming 1 full piece of currency. You'll notice I have 2 full pieces of currency right now. Here's a really big trick, actually, where as I'm activating the module, I can actually simultaneously open my map and start teleport. And this is allowed in No Major Glitches just because it doesn't end up skipping the module cutscene. We still have to end up watching it. However, what it does do is it ends up stacking the collection of the module as well as like the teleport animation. Because usually you like beep, 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 like push some buttons on a phone and then you like teleport out after like crouching down. That just ends up getting stacked with collecting a module. Awesome. Okay. That being said, though, we're going to be coming up here. Oh, nice. Okay. So here, what I ended up doing was I dashed on the first frame that I entered this area. And for some reason, that changes like sort of the pushback effect of ledges and allows me to descend those a little bit quicker. Yeah, okay. But that being said, coming up here, what I'm just going to be doing is layering my dashes in a really specific fashion. You'll notice that I'm like preemptively like setting up my mouse cursor, which is that white diamond you see flying around the screen, in order to decide my dash angles. But here we're going to get a bit of a dash reset, and then there I have to wait for the dash. Oh, I think I went too fast. Okay, so usually I bait a projectile there to be able to reset my dash, but it didn't happen. Okay.
This is another very intense arena.
All right, I got the bit. So there I fire up in order to bait. I have 2 health, so I can't get hit by one of these blue guys, the bird guys. Okay,
nice.
All right, I made it. Okay, so here, this is a really important thing to explain. I'm gonna see a save icon here. Okay, and now I'm gonna quit out and reload the game. This is another way to sort of like skip cutscenes, is by quitting and re-entering the game after it saves. If I don't do that, then it ends up like playing this really loud cutscene that is like, it's very painful. Not only that, but if I try and like quit and reload too late, what ends up happening is this really funny bug where it's this like really loud, high-pitched noise, and no matter what you do, the noise will not go away until you like quit and reload the game overall. Okay. Here I'm going to call for a little bit of serious time. I only started preparing for this run yesterday because I didn't think I was going to be performing this, but this is the first boss, and so I'm just going to let you watch. Yes.
Very nice.
All right. Oh man. Okay. Oh boy.
All those squares and everything flying around do a ton of damage, so Muffin did an excellent job avoiding all that.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm like shaking right now. Oh man. Okay, so that is probably the hardest thing in the run, and I just did that.
Yeah.
So, oh boy. Okay, calm down. Okay, can you guys explain what I just picked up and the teleporting out the pylon?
Sure. So Muffin picked up what we call in the community as the laser rifle. We actually didn't think this gun was worth picking up, but Muffin found a few small time saves that ended up making it worth it. But this gun is actually like effectively a sniper rifle, and it does 2 damage instead of 1 per shot. Also, since he now has this laser rifle and the regular pistol, those share an ammo belt, for lack of a better term. So he has 4 shots of the sniper rifle, 6 of the pistol, and hitting objects and enemies with his sword gives him ammo back. But now Muffin has to consider, like, how much ammo do I have for each gun, and where am I, and how much ammo will I need going forward? The other thing Muffin just purchased with all his currency that he picked up in the north is called Chain Dash. So now you can see he's moving much faster. He also has a stamina bar, which is now above his health. And so now stamina management comes into play. And you'll see Muffin dash in sets of 2 or 3 because those generally conserve stamina the best. The first dash you do in a chain uses no stamina. All dashes thereafter absorb stamina. And after 3 dashes, he'll bonk if he hits a wall, and after 3 or 4 dashes, he'll also slide if he stops. So generally that 2 to 3 set is what you'll see Muffin be doing for the fastest time.
Yeah, and so a lot of complexity in terms of the movement for the speed game is like both planning out your stamina bar, which as you can see, I just ran out of all my stamina when I hit this elevator. And notice how while I'm on the elevator, it is actually regenerating stamina. So we want to expend our stamina by doing longer chains like this. Okay, okay? And then cancel them out. So here, instead of sliding or bonking, I end up hitting that cough cutscene. And so that's another way that we can like sort of cancel out the count, et cetera, et cetera. And here, while I'm collecting this module, that's right, I'm regaining stamina. So it's very, very important that I continuously chain dash for as much duration as possible. So I'm gonna focus. This is, oh. Okay, whatever. But then a lot of it also is kind of that first half-second portion of the dash where it's like it is that straight line, and I'm animation locked, so here's a hard one. Nice. Okay, that went well. Okay. God. So the other thing to mention is that there is a completely important and difficult timing press with each of these dashes, and it changes sort of the range of acceptable values. Like when you're doing a full chain of chain dashes, it's between clicking every 0.2 to 0.3 seconds. And if you fall outside of that window, it cancels out the dash, reverts it back to slow dashes, and you have to wait for it to completely come off cooldown before you're able to activate it again. But here's a really cool arena. So here I'm putting my cursor at a really specific spot, destroying that guy to be able to not have to deal with him later, killing that one plant, which acts as the trigger for the last guy. And then I am gonna slow down a little bit to make sure I'm on full ammo. Okay, so here's a really tricky part of movement. So I'm gonna dash up like this. Okay, and so the other important thing, oh shoot, to mention is that a dash in this game is not a dodge. And so like a lot of people will be like, Hyperlight Drifter is a 2D Souls game. And it's like, no, dude, like we don't have iframes in this game. We have an iframe.
An iframe.
An iframe, yeah. So if you dash on the frame that you're supposed to trigger damage on your character, that does negate the damage, but it's literally a 1/60th of a second timing press. And so I used to go for stuff like that in certain parts, but here's another cool arena. And this is the first place where actually using the laser rifle will send time. And because I know relatively when things are going to spawn and where they're going to spawn, I'm going to stand in specific spots, swapping weapons there to bring the laser rifle off cooldown. And then notice how I have just barely enough ammo to be able to pistol plink that last big guy 3 times. Cool.
Nice. Good fight.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And here's why we needed that key.
Yes. And so literally that one key we got north ends up allowing us to go into here. So here I'm going to kill that plant because it doesn't lose any time. Gets me a little ammo too. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just focusing because this is not an easy room. Cool. Okay, halfway there. So this room is like a pretty notorious run killer for newer players, but as long as you just kind of like consistently get through, these torches are on like a global timer the moment you enter this room. And so like scary, am I dead? Yeah, I'm dead. Yeah. Okay, so what ended up happening there was I got in an infinite damage loop for knockdown. So if you get knocked down once, what ends up happening is if an enemy hits you before you stand up, they will knock you back down again. So like with that, it's extremely difficult to get through some locations because, cool. Yeah, things can end up killing you. There, what I just ended up doing, there's so many things to explain in this run, it's so crazy complex, is something known as a mid-dash activation. So while you're action locked in that first half of a second of the dash, you can still actually interact with some things. So you can start doing things like activating elevators. And this allows you to get down to like certain locations even quicker. Cool. Okay, so there I just did a chain of 3, but I just barely narrowly avoided hitting a tent. And so it's important to mention that doing like 2 sets of 3 dashes is actually faster than doing like 3 sets of 2, even though they both come up to 6 dashes. And the reason is because like going to that 3rd dash is a little bit quicker. I'm just gonna make sure I have enough ammo here. Yep. Okay, bad RNG, that's okay. So I'm just gonna slow down just a little bit there. So there's another spot where the laser rifle does save a little bit of time. But here I'm just gonna hit those guys twice to make sure I can show off some cool stuff in this next upcoming area. Okay, cool. So this is a really awesome area in East where there's going to be a lot of list of enemies. And so like there, I can end up using the laser rifle to both use long range, but also pierce through and one-shot those 2 health enemies, which is a really, really cool thing. Okay. So here I have full ammo, so I can just dash past these guys. Okay, yeah. So this is another part of RNG in the run. Don't hit me. Okay. All right, good. So the crazy thing is like, because I'm going up in above like chains of 3, whenever I do a full chain dash chain like that, as you can see, I can bonk. If I do a slight misstep and I dash into a wall, this will actually end up causing me to hit the wall and I'll lose my dash chain. Not only that, but also as the screen is like shifting around, I'm having to adjust my mouse angle and I'm having to nail that 0.2 to 0.3 second timing window. But up here is going to be a really cool skip. Yeah, okay, I got it, nice. So there, what I ended up doing was shooting that boss, and that allowed me to get into the fight without watching a cutscene. And here, because I'm standing in a single spot, this boss can't actually hit me. And it like permanently locks him into the same animation over and over and over again.
Hardest boss in the game.
Yeah, actually, like no joke, casually, that boss took me the longest to beat the first time around.
Yeah, believe it or not, that boss does end up moving at some point.
Yes,
but
yeah.
we kill him quickly enough.
Okay, cool. So there I activated that pylon, but we still have one more module to get, but here we are getting the shotgun. Okay, good. Oh, now let's do this.
Make sure to switch.
Yeah, thank you, I did. Can somebody talk about the shotgun?
Sure. It does lots of damage, 5 precisely. It has 3 ammo, and you can pistol, or you can plink with it, so you do 5 damage, then 1 with the sword slash for 6.
And then it also has a cooldown for the weapon, same as the laser rifle, but we can skip that by what we call weapon swapping. So just going back to the other weapon and then back to the shotgun, that resets the cooldown so you can do massive amounts of damage very, very quickly, especially on bosses.
That ledge is always a troll.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, thanks, guys. So here in West, especially in this opening part, it's just all going to be about stamina management. So this is actually the first really good time to read off some donations. So take it away.
Absolutely. We've got a ton of love coming in.
Oh, good.
We've got
thank you.
$20 from Air Angel.
Hey, Air Angel.
So happy to see HLD being run this year. It was one of my first speedruns, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Shout outs to Muffin and the whole HLD community for being amazing people. Good luck, have fun, Muffin.
Thank you so much.
We have $300 from Vlad H213.
Wow.
Nice. Shout out to Covert Muffin for being the most handsome speedrunner.
Oh, thanks, Vlad.
Not to be outdone, we have $1,000 by Ariel.
Oh, Ariel, wow.
GDQ seems to have discovered my one true weakness. If you give a girl another muffin run, she's probably going to want to donate to charity. Good luck for the run, or on the run, Muffin.
Oh, thanks, Ariel. Ariel's like donated during every single one of my runs at GDQ, so thank you so much. Glad you can make this one too.
We also have another huge one, $500 from Stars Eclipse.
What? Wow.
I don't know anything about Hyperlight Drifter, but Covert Muffin is always so much fun to watch. Great commentary and great gaming.
Thank you very much. Okay, so here's something quick to explain, is here's this big arena, but the transition zone actually for the next area is just peeking out there in that tiny little spot. So because I know that spot, I'm able to just completely skip the arena. And that's not like me going out of bounds. The transition zone is literally just standing right there. But there is a waypoint that we're going to use, and we're going to come back to get a module a little bit later on after we beat the boss. Cool, okay. And here is another really cool one. There's just a hole right there that I can like sneak past and completely skip that arena. But here we're going to see the shotgun used for the first time actually, where I'm just going to boom, burst down that huge crystal clump, which I can't remember if it was Spleen or Gurr who ended up trying to popularize that back in the day.
Yeah.
But here I'm also going to do this again with these crystals. And you'll notice that, it one-shots those crystals. However, when I attack these, whoa, RNG spider, those spiders can just like appear anywhere. These crystals do not give me 1 ammo back, as I do another crazy dash there. That's really hard, and I got it. So I have to end up like destroying a lot of stuff if I want to be able to get back enough ammo. And it's not one sword / one shotgun ammo either. It's a little bit less. I think it's like the conversion is like 5 for 2. So you need 5 slashes to get 2 full shotgun ammo thingies, I think. So yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the numbers there. But
Yeah.
it takes a lot more than just attacking an enemy.
Yeah. Okay, so up here, I want to give one of the runners in the community a major shout out. This one's to you, Isex. Way back when, right after I got the sub 36 or 35, Isex ended up timing this out to go to this purple Dorito module instead of one that is like 1,000 times harder. So not only is this one much easier to get to and take, but it also saves like 10 seconds. So shout out to you, Isex. Nice discovery, man.
Oh.
Okay. So let's see. We have time. Why don't we say we have time for one donation, and then I'm going to explain some more stuff.
Sure. We have $50 from Aaron107. Aaron here, I did some graphics code work on HLD, and I always love seeing it being run. What better time to throw in my bones for a good cause? Show Jerk Pope who the real jerk is.
Thank you.
And hey, where's the pet the dog incentive?
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's a good question. Okay, so here I'm going to set up a really precise dash. That's okay. The backup is to literally just go like right there, no problem. Up. And there's the puppy, but oh man, I'm stuck into this cutscene. Actually, you know what? Oh, wait, what's happening?
Wait.
Whoa, what?
Muffin, what are you doing?
What are you doing,
What?
Muffin? This is how you throw runs.
Wait, what's going on? Uh-oh, not again. Oh, hey. Ow.
Yeah, we pet the
there we
dog.
go.
Perfectly timed donation.
Got him. Yeah, that was perfectly timed. Okay, so here, shout outs to you, Boxar. For that one, there I just ended up skipping a cutscene by going around the trigger as well, and that's a pretty big time save that I don't think is in my current PB, actually. But over here, I'm going to just refill on ammo by hitting these guys a few times with my sword or petting some more doggos. And then here's the full chain. That's, oh no, okay.
So scary.
Woo! Okay, that was another part where I could just get infinitely like stun locked and take a death. I have lost runs to that. But up here is going to be the next boss, and this one requires a really precise setup. If I do this correct, instead of the boss attacking me initially, what will happen is he goes and skips a phase to start freeing some guys, and with the shotgun, I'm going to try and burst him down before he can start attacking me. So I'm going to focus because this is really difficult. That's a bad spot.
There's 2.
Okay, I didn't quite get it. That's okay. Oh, all right.
Oh, so
Okay.
close.
All right, I get to try again though, so that's good. Okay. All right. Oh, okay, so we're gonna just take a normal fight. That's fine.
There it is. Nice.
Well done.
That's a very stressful fight.
Thank you so much. Oh, man.
Yeah, so that really showcases off the shotgun plinking and how much damage it actually does. You can just absolutely melt bosses.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that was good. I mean, honestly, like, if you want to see some like really clean boss fights, go check out the leaderboard at speedrun.com/HLD and go watch Aurorius's boss rush runs, or go check out my PB up there, which is a 33:47, I believe, which is good. That's a pretty good time. Okay, so here is Dogeland, which is probably the most stressful part of a run, because this can happen. But no problem. Yeah, okay, cool. That was pretty good.
yeah.
So here I ended up just catching these dogs. I left one bush intentionally up, and if you do this, you can catch like most of the dogs and like rush forward, and that actually saves like quite a significant number of seconds. So that was really cool that I got that. But upcoming here is South, and South is probably the hardest section for newer runners. it is an especial sort of run killer where you can just like easily lose a minute or two based off of like taking a big death. And especially in this first area, it's going to be insanely difficult. But here is lag, nice. And so I have to intentionally slow down my inputs to be able to stay within that 0.2 to 0.3 second window for the chain dash overall. Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna grab that checkpoint because we're gonna teleport back to that and kind of just loop around in south all over the place during this section of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so coming over here, this is probably going to be the hardest part of the run after I get through this section. So this section already is like really scary. If I get hit once, that actually ends up like canceling me out, activating it. But this arena is extremely tight, so I'm gonna focus. He went behind the barricade. Oh, I still got the cycle skip. All right, I'm on one health. This is not over yet, folks. If I take a death here, I get sent back and I have to do that entire arena again.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Okay, I got there. I'm gonna get the save. Yeah.
Yeah, and those crushers are one-hit KO, so no matter what health you are.
All right, I think I'm fine on health here. Okay, so here's the next boss. I always forget the name of this boss. Mimic?
Mimic.
Yeah.
Mimic? Okay. So here I'm going to focus. That's okay. So here a bug is happening that is, I don't know why, it's like started cropping up. It's not allowing me to shotgun plink. I'm getting action locked. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to take a slower fight. Okay, I thought this might happen, so I included it in the estimate for that reason. Okay, that's fine. We'll try again. If this doesn't work, then I have a backup safety strat that I practice. Okay, here we go. All right, so it's gonna like move around a bit. Okay. All right, cool.
Nice, there it is.
All right, yeah, that's okay. All right, so that didn't, so if you do this correctly, what'll end up happening is you're able to kill the boss before it ends up like dashing around and moving around. But because of the bug with not being able to shotgun plink, it makes that fight like 10 times harder. And so it makes the run like a lot more difficult to do consistently. But there are strats that I have practiced to be able to get that, but wasn't able to show them off, but hey, that's okay. I'm very happy with the way the other boss fights have gone so far. Cool. Okay, so now that we're through like the hardest part in south, we're going to have a bit more of like really tight movement and stuff, but and some arenas. But this is actually an excellent time to read off a bunch of donations. Take it away.
Sounds good. We have $25 from Scott K214, donating for Covert Muffin's wonderful laugh. Keep running and I'll keep donating.
All right, you got it. I'll be here for another like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes or so.
We have $30 from Melodic Lyrics. I discovered GDQ last winter right before I got married to my wife. Now I'm watching it this summer with our 6-month anniversary right around the corner.
Oh, great. Congratulations.
Money is going to a great cause, and even though I'm in Germany right now, I love you, Seraphine.
Thank you so much.
$30 from Silver Volt Dragon. I've been watching SGDQ for a few years and often thought about donating, so this time I did. The events and outcomes are unpredictable, but I can always count on good times, great games, and amazing people.
Thank you so much. So there, instead of destroying some explosive barrels, I ended up dashing around. Major shout outs to a runner whose screen name is Captain Porky. He ended up just like coming into the community and like finding all of these like really subtle nuances of movement. But here's a really tight skip. Okay. Really tight skip where I dash around a wall there. And so it's not over yet. There is an arena where I can experience lots of pain. Oh boy, okay, goodbye. So there, okay, we're fine. Okay, and now I made it to the save, so we're okay. Yeah. And so this is why like South in general is like a really scary area, because if you take a big death at any point in time, you can end up just like losing a minute because of where you're going back. And here I'm gonna dash right before they're able to hit me. Don't worry about it. I've never died there or lost a PB and gotten really tilted about it, ever. And so up here is gonna be a really cool sequence break where I'm gonna dash up here, and then walking into a diagonal onto the ledge allows me to get slightly off. I'm able to dash onto a tiny platform there to go through. Oh, that guy tried to copy me, just completely failed. Okay, so here's this is probably one of the hardest boss fights, so I'm gonna focus. Yes!
Beautiful
yes.
fight.
Okay. That was really good. That was insane. Okay, that's how boss fights are supposed to go. That was amazing. Wow. My north fight and my archer fight were insanely good. I'm so happy with that. Those are the two hardest bosses. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have done that, the run is going to be wrapping up actually pretty quickly here. So here I'm going to teleport back to South because we still need one more purple Dorito to be able to debate the final boss into letting us into his secret man cave so that we can bring the snacks and then end up taking him out. So over here is going to be a really precise dash challenge, and yeah, why not? I'm going to go for a one-frame trick that saves time that I discovered. Oh, I didn't get it. That's fine. That's okay. So if you end up healing, you end up stopping yourself from sliding. However, you have one frame then to start activating the module and then open the map and begin teleporting out. If you mess up any of that in that frame, then you end up failing it. Oh. There we go. Okay, so now that we have all the purple Doritos and we got the antennas up for his man cave, we are going to go down to the final boss. But that being said, as I approach the final boss, why don't we say we have time for 4 donations?
4, okay.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
We have $100 from SXY Polar Bear. Covert Muffin, your positive attitude and laughter is contagious.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for the excellent run and host commentary.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a couple donations around the Celeste Task incentive. We have $50 from Josh the Valiant 121 saying, Celeste Task, you say? Yeah, I want to see that.
Nice.
Also $50 from Alros. Last year's Celeste Task is what got me into the event, and I'm glad to have been in the crowd for this SGDQ. Can't wait to get that Celeste incentive met.
Yeah, let's meet that, guys.
And if you didn't see it last time, this All Berries run is just going to be bonkers because the exhibition last time was incredible.
Yeah, it was insane. It was really, really cool. I was on couch for that Celeste task, and it was amazing. Okay. So there was a cough cutscene. There's another one earlier. I'm actually just going to wait for the slide. Okay, cool. Where I ended up just dashing over the cough cutscene trigger, and it's like extremely precise. I got the first one, I missed the second one, but a runner of the name Snowy has looked into it to find those like consistent spacing. So major shout outs to you, Snowy, if you're watching, man. But here's the final boss, which is like all of this area filling attacks, and you're going to see none of those. Okay, so here I'm gonna stand in this corner, debate them all over. Now I'm gonna come over here. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, one more phase. Okay. Ooh. And got him, okay.
Well
nice,
done.
good fight. All right, time's gonna be coming up in about 50 seconds. First, I want to give a major shout outs to the Hyperlight Drifter speedrunning community. Major shout outs to you, MunchaKoopas and Obidobi. Thank you guys so much on such short notice coming onto my couch and helping with commentary. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you guys, so thank you.
Glad to be here.
Can we get a cheer for these two guys on the couch?
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Muffin.
Yeah. Yeah, Hyperlight Drifter is one of the speed games that I put my heart and soul into. So it it honestly means a lot being able to come here. Like, I didn't think I was ever going to be able to perform this in front of you guys, and so I put so much work into it, and so being able to show this off really means the world
Get ready
to
on
me.
time?
Yep, and time. That's Hyperlight Drifter.
I love you, buddy.
Thank you. Love you too, man.
You've added so much to this community, Muffin. It means the world to us, too.
I'd hug you harder, but the headset makes it hard.
Thank you. Thank you. Keep donating. Keep donating, keep getting hype. We still have 2 more days of this marathon, so let's get to that 2 million and get above there. Thank you guys so much. Have fun. Oh, hell yeah.
What a great run. Thanks, Muffin, so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SGDQ 2019, which is powered by Twitch. As we were talking about just at the end of Covert Muffin's run, our next big incentive to meet is the bonus game 5, TASBot Plays Celeste. And they're doing a longer category this time, all red berries, and it is going to be the most insane thing you have seen. TASBot is usually insane, but this will be extra insane. So get those donations in. We have $60 from Skyloaf. Been loving the marathon so far, and today is really stacked. So excited for the upcoming runs. Had to get in for a chance at that sweet Octopath world map print. Putting this towards my boy Therion being the story of choice, because my purple thief boy deserves screen time. And speaking of Octopath Traveler, we have an interview with Kizaron, Alta Biscuit, Arcariot, Oro, and Mamgar.
Hello, SGDQ 2019. I am Kizaron, and I am here with Oxygen, Alternate, Forest Fire, and Magmar.
Hold up. Are you wearing a dress?
Yeah, he kind of took my clothes, so I had to go back.
I'm the new Keys now.
He's the new Keys. Oh, you want to do this interview then?
No, that's fine. You can take it over. It's fine.
Darn it. Well, anyway, thank you for joining me. I was about to say tonight. It's this morning.
It's
My sleep
somewhere.
schedule's messed up. I don't know if everyone else is at home is okay or not, but mine sure sucks right now. So, Octopath, like, did you guys plan on speedrunning this when it came out, like when you first heard about the game, or was this something that kind of grew organically? We'll just kind of go down the list here.
So I usually gravitate to RPGs. You might have seen me at Limit Break. I ran the World Ends With You and also Let's Go. And Octopath was a game I actually didn't pick up right when it came out. I ended up getting it around like Christmas time last year. So a good few months after the game had come out. And I played through the game and just loved it. So I was like, all right, we're just going to jump right on the speedrun. So
I saw these 3 blind racing Therian story at AGDQ this year, and the combat looked really fun, so that's what got me into it.
For playing it the first time, I originally didn't plan on speedrunning it, but as I played the game more, I thought like, wow, it's almost over and I don't want it to be, so I want to keep enjoying it, so I just decided to speedrun it so that I could keep enjoying a game that I loved.
Yeah, I was very much in the same boat as our Carriot over here. It was very much, it was a game that I played and I ended up liking it a lot more than I did. I almost didn't purchase, I almost didn't pick it up, and I ended up playing a whole lot of it.
Now, there are different routes in the game, obviously, different characters, so on and so forth. And with that huge amount of possible routing and whatnot, before you guys submitted this, or even before you even came up with the idea of this, was there like a collaborative effort to to routing all these different routes? Or did you guys just kind of work on it individually and then just kind of come up with the idea? Because this is kind of a fresh take on a bid war in GDQ.
yeah, I kind of just jumped on some of my favorite characters casually. Haunted was like one of my first runs that I jumped on. I haven't really done a whole lot of actual routing with the game, but I've kind of dabbled in every category here and there, and Haunted and Ulbrich just kind of landed on being my favorites. So.
Yeah, the Discord, by the way, just has a lot of resources for just all the different routes, and that just made it really friendly to pick it up as a new runner. So, and Ophelia and Therian were my favorites, so that's what I ended up ultimately picking for this submission.
Cyrus ended up being my starting character in Casually, and I really enjoyed playing as him, and I think he's one of the cooler runs. I can't talk about that right now, but I just really liked Cyrus, and I have like 200 attempts on Cyrus story.
Yeah, and one of the nice things I liked about Octopath is you could jump around from category to category, kind of mess around with category. If I wasn't having fun with Tress, I hopped over to Haunted and did some stuff with that. Done with Haunted, moved my way over to Primrose, stuff like that. It's a lot of touch and go. There's a lot of input from a lot of different runners coming from different angles, going from one store to the other.
And just the way the game is designed, you can just make up your own stuff and your own speedruns. It's very flexible to that, and that's also just the long-term appeal and why some of the long-term runners are still around, like Jello, Dahlia, and all them.
Now, kind of going off of that a little more, obviously each of you have 2 characters assigned for your bid wars and whatnot, and we did just kind of talk about it briefly, but can we kind of like go into like the meat and potatoes of like why those 2 routes for each of you? Like why you like this character and this character as your choices, some of the pros and cons of the routes, so on and so forth.
So Haunted's final boss is probably the key characteristic that makes Haunted really good. A lot of her kind of early game stuff is a little bit more scripted than usual, but the final boss is a really good lesson in improv. The fight kind of has some scripted stuff to it, but it's mostly improv, and it's a really good way to just teach you how to work around the mechanics of the game. As far as Ulbrich, he does the most fights out of any character, single story, and he has to do a lot of things just because the usual resources we use on other characters are kind of limited. Ulbrich has to use a lot of other ways of getting damage in that you usually don't get to see in the other speedruns.
So for Ophelia, she uses the summon mechanic a lot, which I think is pretty interesting. She famously, towards the end of her run, there's a trail of 6 characters following her behind, so it's kind of funny just seeing just a human train and running off to Whisper Mill. But the other one, Therion, he probably has one of the most interesting routes among the 8, in my opinion. He famously has the 3% required steal at the end of his run, on which if you're trying to go for world record, it's a little annoying, but it's just an amusing thing just to have that there. And he also has a pretty interesting final boss fight with an appearance from Cleric Tressa, which I think is one of the cuter outfits for her or too. But yeah, and on that note, if Therion does win, I'm going to donate $3 for every attempt on the 3%, or $300 if it's first try. So.
Cyrus has a passive skill tied to him called Evasive Maneuvers, which lowers encounter rates. And since it's tied to Cyrus, you get it basically right away. So you're like right out the door, going fast. And it's why it's one of my favorite categories, because you don't really have to deal with the walk to Cyrus at all, because you are Cyrus. While Alphen has the ability Concoct, which is like mixing ingredients together to create an effect. And you see it a lot more in his run than any other run. I don't think any other run really uses it that much, but it's used so much in Alphen's story. And it ends up making his final boss really, really cool to see and do.
Yeah, and so I got 2 runs. Primrose she has the dubious honor of getting to have 2 final bosses. So she has to get a lot of money. And her final bosses are not exactly generous. Her run's pretty nice. She also uses the summon mechanic a bit, but there's just a lot of really clever routing in how to make the fights work out, because you just barely have enough HP to survive some of the fights. We also recently routed one of the merchant jobs out of her route, so it's another unique that she has going for her. Therion has it too, but Primrose was the first. And Tressa was seen at AGDQ, but there's lots of different routes for Tressa. We'll be showing off a Tressa route that's more similar to the Ophelia route that utilizes one of the summons to apply debuffs to help us beat the bosses.
Now, quick closing statement real quick before we go into me pretending to be Sent, which I'm so sorry, Sent. So I actually did want to have a big wrestling ring here so they could have a battle royale to determine who would actually play the game. But since we are family friendly and we are trying to avoid that, you guys can determine at home who gets to play and which route they get to play. Don't forget, there is a bid war going on right now. It is still going. It's almost anybody's game, almost.
It can be anybody's game with enough money.
Yeah, with enough money. And we've seen some crazier things happen at GDQ. But moving on to some fabulous prizes, that's what he would say, right? I'm pretty sure that's what he would say. Let's start off with what's right in front of me, actually, even though that's totally out of order. So you want to hold this for us to make it look all pretty and stuff. So we do have this large Rabbi plushie, right? It's a $25 minimum donation, and all of these that I'm going to talk about go until the end of Octopath. You have plenty of time to get your donations in, and don't forget that it also goes towards a grand prize. So be sure to get those donations in, accumulate, etc., etc. But this thing's really, really soft. It's really big. I can actually knock out Oro with it. It's pretty nice. So, I might actually do that and take over for Oro, because I've totally played Octopath before.
You can take my jacket back, or your jacket back.
I can get my clothes back too. Yeah, the little thief. Over here with my boys at the couch, we do have this AverMedia goodie bag. It does come with a gamer mini, which Alta's pulling out for me right now. There's also a couple of extra goodies in there. That's going to be a $20 minimum donation, once again until the end of Octopath. And then one last thing to point out is this beautiful thing behind Oro's head that I really wanted to just kind of, there we go. You can't see him. Oro's not there anymore. So we have this Secret of Mana tapestry. It's a bundle. It comes with a game too. $15 minimum donation. This thing's absolutely beautiful looking. And just get those donations in, guys. You can get those towards the bid wars and everything. And hey, camera change. See, look how pretty it is. Look how absolutely pretty it is. So just get those donations in, guys, and you'll be able to enter for a lot of these great things. But coming up next, we do have Minecraft. So be sure to stick around.
All right, you're watching Summer Games Done Quick 2019, where we have just raised $1.1 million for Doctors Without Borders. We have $200 from Cooper Smash Bros. I feel guilty that this is my 4th year watching and I've never donated to such a great cause. Here's $50 for every year, and I think I've found a great new game thanks to Covert Muffin. We have $80 from Alice Allen, donating $5 for every one of Covert Muffin's trademarked laughs that I counted. From one distinct laughter to another, his runs always bring a smile to my face. Donation to Runner's Choice. So we've just finished hearing from Kizaron and the Octopath crew about the currently running Octopath Traveler character bid war. Currently in the lead for that is Therion with $4,683, but following closely behind is Hannet at $4,327. And just after Hannet is Primrose with $1,560. So if you want to choose your character, be sure to get your money in over the course of the next run. We have a $500 anonymous donation. Let's meet that TaskBot incentive. So if you haven't heard yet, our next bonus game incentive is TaskBot playing Celeste, All Berries. That is set at $175,000. Currently, for that, we have $33,958.64. So if you want to see that bonus run, it's coming up later. Be sure to get your money in to see that. On that note, we have $20 from Quantum Palinor. Gotta help fund this Celeste task. Celeste has some of the best speed tech I've ever seen, and I love watching tasks execute it perfectly. We have $25 from The Shums. Been watching all week, and that Hyper Light Drifter run from Covert Muffin was one of my favorites. HLD means a lot to me, and I'm so glad Muffin had the chance to run it for us. This donation goes towards Cyrus for Octopath Traveler Single Story. I know he won't win, but I adore that absent-minded professor. You still have a chance to get him to win, folks, if you want to see that. $30 from Shivington. TaskBot running Celeste last year was mind-blowing. Now a berry run? Yes, please. We have a $250 donation from Landy124. I used to think video games were for nerds. Now I realize video games are for heroes. $50 from Locala. Had to donate for that awesome Hyper Light Drifter run. Always love watching Covert Muffin because of his genuine enthusiasm and infectious laughter. Let's get that Task Celeste run. All right, it sounds like